Three Demons Book 1, Chapter 7, Gabrielel versus Sakuraba begins. A buzzard sounds off, alerting both companies that the battle has begun. Ria turns to us. Kitsune, I want you to go east and lock down that area. Kazuto and Ava, I want you both to scout out the area for potential hazards and traps the enemy has prepared. They nod and go their separate ways. Ria then turns to me and Asuka. Asuka, you are my support. I want you to stick by me as I head into Mochi's territory. Randy, I want you to go back up Kitsune and Kazuto as well as Ava. They're gonna need you badly, especially since we are outnumbered. I nod and I head towards the east. I head into what looked like an abandoned mall. I walk inside and the only light inside is the light peeking through the shattered windows. Next thing I know, I feel something close coming towards me. Next thing I know, a woman wearing a purple kimono comes barreling towards me. I was able to barely dodge the full attack, but ended up getting my cheek cut open by her sword. Alter switched at Joseph. "You dumb broad! You cut my beautiful face!" Joseph screamed at the woman before smirking. Joseph then uses his thumb and proceeds to wipe the cut away from his cheek. "Just kidding." The woman then gritted her teeth and charged towards Joseph, swinging her blade wildly, to which Joseph dodged each swing easily. Suddenly, a woman wearing a brown martial arts gi comes flying through the wall, almost bumping into Joseph. "What the hell?" Joseph asked himself as Kitsune stumbled over the hole in the wall she had created. "Best friend, it's you!" Joseph screamed out before realizing two girls wielding chainsaws came chasing after Kitsune. Joseph begins to run towards Kitsune to help her, but he is stopped by the swordswoman who goes to stab Joseph in the chest. As she goes in for the kill, Joseph grabs the sword with his bare hand. "If you didn't realize, I was trying to help best friend," Joseph tells her before punching her through the floor, eliminating her. "My Soraya of the Sakuraba company has been eliminated," a voice announced over the battlefield. Joseph then met up with Kitsune back to back. "So you finally did something useful, huh?" Kitsune told Joseph mockingly. "Oh, come on, best friend, you don't have to be so mean," Joseph responded back. Joseph then charged towards the two twins wielding chainsaws. Before Joseph could do anything to attack the twins, he got spooked by the chainsaws the twins were wielding. "Oh my god, I always thought twins wielding chainsaws would be amazing, but you guys are making it super terrifying." Joseph narrowly dodged multiple attacks from the twins, getting his jacket and shirt torn up in the process. "Aw man, I like that jacket," I complained loudly inside the subconscious. "That's it," Joseph screams out as he runs and grabs one twin by the ankle and throws her at her sister. "Joseph is pissed." Joseph claps his hands together and a ball of red energy forms in his hands. "Demon shot!" Joseph screams out as he shoots out a beam of red energy towards the two twins, smashing them through walls and debris until they both fall outside the boundary. Marina and Nanya Oyuki of the Sakuraba company have been eliminated. As that is going on, Kitsune is battling with the martial artist, throwing punches back and forth, causing shockwaves with every punch that is blown. As a punch is about to be thrown at Kitsune, she ducks and gets behind her enemy, wrapping her arms around her waist and slamming her through the floor, eliminating her. Zaya Yatsude of the Sakuraba company has been eliminated. Joseph walks up to Kitsune, who's trying to catch her breath. "Hells yeah, best friend. We showed those bitches who the top dogs are." Kitsune chuckles softly. "Whatevs." Joseph and Kitsune walk out of the abandoned mall and notice explosions coming from the other side of the battlefield. It's Ava having a battle against a woman wearing a purple dress wielding a staff shooting magic back and forth with Ava. "Looks like she's having fun," Kitsune said sarcastically. Suddenly, Kitsune gets a cold chill and shoves Joseph out of her vicinity as a giant explosion goes off, surrounding her in flames. "Best friend!" Joseph screamed, reaching out for Kitsune. A woman comes floating down with her hand pointed towards Joseph. "Instead of flirting with each other, you should have paid attention to your surroundings. That is basic information for a battle like this," the woman tells Joseph as he heads on over to Kitsune. Joseph finds Kitsune lying in a crater with smoke coming from it. Joseph kneels down and holds Kitsune in his arms. "Best friend, are you okay?" Joseph asks Kitsune. Kitsune looks up at Joseph in pain. "Tell Ria I'm sorry," Kitsune tells Joseph as she fades away in a dust of light. Joseph's eyes widen in rage as the woman laughs at him. "Poor girl couldn't take the pain, it seems like. She was forced out of the tournament before I could kill her. At least I have you to play with." The woman mocks Joseph as Joseph stays quiet. Joseph then smiles. "Really now? I think you misunderstand the current situation in front of you." Joseph turns around and his face begins cracking like dried up clay, his eyes glowing as he smiles devilishly at his opponent. The woman steps back out of pure instinct alone. What is with this guy? His demon energy is rising fast and his face is cracking. I better be careful with this one. The woman puts on some gloves as she prepares to face off against Joseph. Joseph appears behind her as she turns around and swings at him, a punch he catches. The woman pulls her arms back and continues to throw punches at Joseph while he walks towards her, causing her to step backward with every step taken forward. Joseph then grabs her by her throat, causing her to gag from the lack of air. She falls to her knees as Joseph just stands there, smiling at her. You see, there is a natural order to life in this world. There's me, then Jake, then Randy, then my women, then the animals, then humans, then worms. And then there's the dirt that lives as a habitat for the worms. Then there's ants that eat the dirt. Then there's plants and fungi. Then seeds, and finally, there are insignificant specks just like yourself. You should have learned your place. Joseph then places his free hand on top of the woman's head, causing her eyes to go blank. The woman looks around and notices a blackening around her. She notices Joseph no longer has her by her throat. She looks around for her comrades but can't find them no matter where she looked or how long she looked for. Suddenly, she hears Joseph's laughter coming from multiple different directions. She drops to her knees and puts her hands on her head. She is then stabbed by a sword that was seemingly shot at her. She attempts to pull the sword out, but it disappears before she could lay a hand on it. However, the wound itself stays. She limps away to another location, trying to find Light or anyone else. However, she is shot once more with another sword. This repeats and continues over and over again. Joseph pulls the unconscious woman up by her hair and smiles. My favorite kind of arcana. Illusions. If I had to guess, you've already spent a decade inside. You'll wake up. Eventually. Joseph throws the woman outside of the boundary, eliminating her. Yuki Ayaka of the Sakuraba company has been eliminated. Alter switch to Jake. Jake shakes his head to regain composure. I don't blame Joseph for getting pissed off, but he went way too far against someone as weak as her, Jake says to himself. Jake then hears battling coming from the northeast of his location. Maybe I should head out that way. Wait. I feel Kazuto's presence over there, as well as 10 nobodies. I can't believe he's having a hard time over there. I better go help him, Jake says as he begins to head out into that direction. Over by the battlefield, Kazuto is breathing heavy as he stands his ground against his wide field of opponents. Two girls wearing maid outfits are firing guns at Kazuto, making it impossible for him to get in range of any of the other girls. Two bunny girls are attempting to hand-to-hand combat with Kazuto, but he's just fast enough to dodge them. However, he wasn't paying attention and one of the bullets cut him across the cheek. Damn it! A girl wearing a gas mask wielding a knife comes swinging towards him. Kazuto catches her wrist, but immediately has to let go as a bullet comes flying towards him. Kazuto believes he has enough breathing time, but a cyborg shoots out a ball of fire towards him. Kazuto is caught by the flame, but he was fast enough to create a thick exoskeleton to protect himself. A small girl begins laughing at Kazuto's misfortune. Poor boy, not even your good looks can help you beat all of us here right now. Another girl with blue hair speaks up. Don't get cocky. They've already taken out 5 of our team. Your brother will be quite upset with that. Shut up, Sokka. I know what I'm doing. Yells at her comrade. Kazuto begins laughing. What's so funny, pretty boy? Asks him. It seems like I've bought enough time for some help, Kazuto warns everybody. Everyone begins looking around, eventually finding Jake watching the battle up from the trees. Are you just gonna stay up there in that tree, or are you gonna come down here and help your comrade? Nami, a neatly dressed woman, asks Jake. Jake then stops time. Whilst time is stopped, Jake grabs Kazuto and appears behind the group of girls. They're all starstruck in awe, wondering how Jake did what he did. You rest up, Kazuto. I'll take those insects on myself, Jake tells Kazuto as he stands up preparing for battle. And that is the end of Chapter 7.